Hello, I'm Chen Yuhao. I will explain the question 4 to check if a number is a palindrome number. Okay, let's see the program. For this question, first we will think about how to get this number. Because if we store it as an int, we can't easily to reserve this number, right? It is because we get a whole number directly in one time. So I think we can store it as a string in a character array. Then we can get it for a bit and a bit. It's easily for us to reserve it. So I use A1 to store this number. Right? At first, we'll print that tell the user, please enter an integer. Then we use fgets to get this number. Why we use fgets? Because we know gets is an unsafe function. In C99, it doesn't recommend us to use gets. So I use fgets to get the number. Then I use a L to store the length of A1. It means how many bits of number for the whole number we get. Okay. Then I use a while function. I use this while function to store it to store the reserve integer. Okay. If L is more than 0, then we let A2 is to store the reserve integer. A2 I2 plus plus equal to A1 minus L. A2 is 0 here. So we want why use minus L here? Because such as we input an 1 2 to 1. Okay, so L will be equal to 4, right? But A1 4, we know arrays begin at 0. A1 4 is actually nothing in it. So we want it is A1 3. So we minus first, then we use the value of L. So it is actually 3 here. Yeah, so I use minus L here. At here, for A2, we want A2 is begin at 0. So we use I2 value first, then plus plus. Okay, so after the L is less than 0, this while is be ending, then we reserve the integer store at A2. Okay, then I use a for loop. I use a for loop to check if it is a palindrome number. You can say I equal to 0 if I is less than the bit of number A1, I plus plus. If I1i equal to, if A1i equal to A2i, we need to do nothing. We let it continue because we know it is a palindrome, right? But if it's not equal to A1i is not equal to A2i, we know it is not a palindrome number. Okay, so that I let the A equal to 0, then break this for loop. A is equal to 1 at first. Then if A is true, it means A equal to 1. If A is true, we tell the user, yes, this is a palindrome number. But if A is false, we tell the user, oh, this is not a palindrome. So we create a program to check if it's a palindrome number. But there is a still question that if user is not scan a integer but a string, right? Such as he input A B B what A B B A. All the program will tell him, yes, this is a palindrome number, but we know it is actually not even not a integer. So I add a for loop here to check if user is input an integer but not a character or a string. We say if A1i is more than character 0 and at the same time less than character 9, we know it's actually a number. Then we need to do nothing, let it continue. But else we know it is not a number, so we tell the user no, it is not correct input. Then we finish the whole program. Okay, so that we get this program that can make our need come true. Yeah, thank you. That's all.
My name is Cui Kun Shuo. My student ID is MBT2509002. Hello, today I will explain text 1 of my C programming assignment. This program asks the user to enter 10 integers. The program finds the largest number and the smallest number. I use 4 variables. The member stores user inputs. The largest stores the biggest value. The smallest stores the smallest value. I is used in the loop. The program reads user inputs using scanf. If the input is not an integer, the program shows an error message. This is a safe programming practice because it helps prevent errors. I use for loop to get the remaining members. Then I compare each member. I update the largest value if the number bigger than the largest. If the number smaller than the smallest, I update the smallest value. For each call programming, I use clear purpose so users know what to enter. And I also use input validation to reduce mistakes. This program correctly uses variables, loops, and if statement. Thank you. I will show this program. I will show the program to you. I enter the first number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It will show the final output. The largest number is 10. The smallest number is 1. If I do not put an integer, I put a word. It is put A. And I will show the mistake. Please enter integers only. Like this.
Good morning, everyone. Today we'll explain the simple C program for academic score calculation. First, the program creates an area to store 5 subject scores and sets basic variables for calculation. Then it uses a for loop to set users' input scores. The loop counts each subject and adds up the total score automatically. After all data is entered, the program calculates the average score through division. This will avoid redundant work and makes the code efficient. The core part is grade evaluation. The program converts decimal scores into integers. Then it uses a switch case structure to judge grades. Scores of 90 to 100 gets grade A, 80 to 89 gets grade B, and so on. Each break statement stops extra rounding and guarantees correct results. This program uses for basic programming concepts, areas for loops, in iteration, conditional judgment, and data conversion. For ethic considerations, this program has a small limitation. It does not check wrong inputs such as negative scores or scores over 100. Real programs need boundary checks to keep accuracy. Switch case is clear than nested if-else statements for fixed number range. In short, this program uses basic C language skills to solve practical problems. It also teaches us to write accurate and standard code. Okay, let's run it to have a try. Okay, such as we can enter this one, this one, and this one. Okay, and this one. Okay, we can see C respond 78, right? And A correspond to 90. But if I entered 120, it cannot check the wrong input, so it outputs F. Okay, thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Xu Yiding, AJE 25090024. Today I will present our Group C program for the number guessing game. In this program, the computer generates a random number between 1 and 50, and the player has to guess it based on real-time feedback. Yes, look at the code on line 7 and 8. We used grand time 0 and %50 plus 1. This uses the system time to generate a truly random number strictly within our 1 to 50 range. And the core game runs inside a while infinite loop on line 11. Yes. Inside this loop, we use an if-else structure. To check the player's input, it tells the user if their guess is too high or too low. Once the player guesses correctly, the break statement on line 26 safely terminates the loop and ends the game. You can see if guess greater than answer, it will print F too high. If the guess less than answer, it will print F too low. Yes. In terms of user experience, we have designed very clear prompts such as start and please enter the number you guessed 1 to 50 integer. And providing the clear instruction like this is an essential ethical practice in programming, as it guides the user and prevents confusion. To improve input validation further, a real-world version would also include code to handle invalid characters or out-of-bounds number without crashing. So in the end, let's work this program. Okay, you can see game start. I'll guess 20. Too high, oh, so 10. Too low, 15. Too high, 13. Too high, 12. Too high, so 11. Yes, congratulations, the number is 11. So, okay, that's all of my presentation. Thank you for listening.